Self-respect will always reveal true color. If you ever had questions about the people in your life, if you ever had questions about the environment that you're in, if you felt weird about certain places that you went, if you felt uncomfortable or spooky energy in the certain situations that other friends would lead you in, or in situations that people told you time and time again that you were safe and you just didn't feel safe, just know that the secret antidote to knowing if you should be in that place or you shouldn't be in that place is self-respect. It starts with self-respect, rather. With a firm understanding and application of self-respect, you will start to realize who people are. You'll start to realize who you are in situations, and you'll also start to reveal truths that maybe they were hidden before, but under the scope of self-respect, you're going to be able to see it so clearly. And that's because the illusion or the veil of a reality is always torn down, broken down, and shattered when you demonstrate self-respect. Let me explain. True self-respect starts with self-love. So when you love yourself and when you care for yourself, you want to protect yourself. And this is like anything in the world, whether something that you own or something that you aspire to have or something that you want. When you love that thing, when you love yourself, you want to protect yourself. You want to protect it from others, from wanting hands, from ungrateful hands, from people that you feel are not deserving of having that thing that you love. So let's say we could put it down to when you're a child. When you're a child, you have maybe your favorite pillow. You have your favorite pillow that you carry around with you everywhere you go. Could even be a teddy bear. You carry it around every single where you go, but you're so protective of that thing. If an adult tries to take your pillow away from you, you grab it back. You're like, no, that's my pillow. Even if it's your parents, you're like, no, this is my pillow. I'm keeping it close to my heart. You're protective, right? Now, this is because this is your pillow. This is something that you love. This is something that you want to protect. Now, that's a childlike explanation to it. But think of that exact same perspective when you get older. Think about that perspective in regards to yourself. When you love yourself, you want to protect yourself. You don't just put yourself in any situation. You don't just allow your energy to be a light to people that are undeserving. No, that's my light. I'm keeping it with me. This is mine, and I will make sure to make good choices because I don't want this thing, this person, this entity that I love to be a witness to any type of destruction. So even if by some random stroke of chance, I decide to give my person to somebody else, they're at least going to understand how much it means to me. They're at least going to understand that this is something very valuable. This is something that doesn't happen with everyone. This is something that I am giving you the honor and the privilege to experience. So don't waste my time. That is self-respect. As I said, it starts with love. And then right after love, as in these examples, boundaries start to develop. You start to say, this environment is not good for me. Let me not go. You start to even question the things that you discuss with people because some things are just too close to my person. And only I should know this. Only I would understand this in the way that I understand. So let me keep this to myself. After self-love comes boundaries. You start to set the parameters of where you will go, where you won't go, who you will see, who you won't see. How much time you spend with someone, how much time you spend somewhere. You start to create that perimeter of your own person. So self-love, then boundaries, and then the understanding of what you're bringing to the table, the figurative table, of course. Because now that you're protecting yourself, it's like a puzzle piece. Now that you're protecting yourself, you're well aware that you have a certain puzzle piece that no one else has. You're the only one else that has it. It's a unique piece. It's beautiful. It's vibrant. It's electrifying. It is just the greatest. And not only the greatest, but it's the piece that I have. So it's great because it's mine. So now you recognize that you have this puzzle piece. So you recognize where that puzzle piece will fit in relation to everybody else. So you're choosy about where you want to go. You're saying, will my puzzle piece fit this environment? Will my puzzle piece fit with this type of person? Will my puzzle piece accommodate this situation that XYZ is going through, and you're more selective. All of these 3 elements, which is self-love, creating boundaries, and being selective, sums up the action of being a self-respecting person. And I'll say it again, self-respect destroys all illusions when it comes to people and when it comes to situations. Because when you understand this fundamental idea, you don't just put yourself in circumstances. Without the right self-respect, you're hanging with people that don't deserve you. You have best friends who, I'm not really sure about her. I'm not really sure about him. You're going in an environment and you feel kind of uncomfortable. You feel not at ease. Nothing bad happened. Nothing dramatic happened. Nothing that is alarming necessarily happened. But your gut is just, you don't feel good about where you are. You're in these situations because you're not taking into account the person that is in that situation. You're not taking into account the 3 things that become self-respect. Just that knowledge alone empties or destroys possibility for confusion. That love, that compassion for who you are and what you are and everything that you've been through, your unique experiences, that understanding of self destroys and empties all of the possibility for confusion. So it eliminates the opportunity for fake friends. It eliminates the opportunity for people to use you, to put you in situations that you don't really want to be in, that you don't care for. It puts you from being used and even putting your own life at risk, because at every step of the way, you were aware of yourself and you were knowledgeable of what you were doing and why you were doing it. Now, don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean that you're never going to make a mistake again. Having self-respect doesn't mean that nothing bad is going to happen to you. But it does mean that you will be conscious of every step of the journey of your life. And with that consciousness comes better decision, but also better reaction to the many things that can always happen. Now let's give an example where you didn't have self-respect and something quote unquote unpredictable happened. Because is it really unpredictable if you went in the situation without having self-respect? I mean, what can we expect? But let's say an unpredictable situation happens. How are you going to adapt to that situation? An unpredictable situation happens. It's much harder to adapt to the situation. Why? Because you have no foundation. The love is not there. The boundaries were never there. Nothing is there. So how are you going to react in an optimal way? How are you going to swim out of this situation now that you realize you're in the ocean? Now, having self-respect is not saying that you're never going to be in a situation where you have to swim away, but it's saying, look, here's a body of water. We should bring a boat. We should bring a life jacket. We should bring an extra raft. We should bring some paddles. You'll bring a flare. So yes, something bad may happen when you're on the body of water, but you're much better prepared. You can adapt in a way better way. While the person that doesn't have any self-respect, had no boundaries, did not prepare themselves, if they happen to be in a problem, they're going to drown, or they're going to have a lot of energy to swim back to shore. All that extra energy to swim back to shore. While the person that came into the situation with self-respect, okay, let me just fire this flare, boom. Okay, that didn't work, let me use the telephone, I'm at these coordinates. Oh, that didn't work, okay, I have the paddle, I could just, paddle back, I don't have to use any energy. Right? You're better prepared. That comes with self-respect. Self-respect destroys all of illusions and shows you who you need to be, when you need to be, and why you need to be. To truly understand self-respect, we really need to understand the perils of not having self-respect. When you don't respect yourself, you often lower yourself to please other people or to make other people happy. Why? Because maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, it's like you're bargaining your person. I'll go deeper with that. So with no self-respect and you trying to impress people, maybe because you want to have a friend or you want to show that person that you're a good person. You want to show that, you're cool too. You want to show that you're just as good as the next person. Without self-respect, you're doing the most to prove that. Just so that you could possibly have a good connection or a better connection with an individual. That's not right. Someone should be able to recognize your value for who you are, not for what you do. Someone can't love you because you do this thing. Oh, you got this cool trick. What are you, a circus clown? Oh, look at Mary. She can do this trick. Everybody gather around. Look, Mary's going to do her trick. Oh, Mary is so funny. Look. Everybody look. She's going to tell a joke. Is that the person that you want to be in order to be in that type of crowd? To be with that type of friend? Because at the end of the day, yes, you got what you wanted. You wanted the company or whatever you did it for. But what was the cost? Who's going to feel bad when they go home? Who has to look at themselves in the mirror when they are the clown? It's the clown. You got to look yourself in the mirror. You got to sleep with yourself every single night. When you wake up in the morning, who's sharing those thoughts with you? Just you. What are you doing this for? Self-respect destroys all illusions, and it's the revealer of most things when it comes to relationship. Now, when you do have self-respect, you realize, okay, this person doesn't want to be around you. Why? Because you have boundaries. This person doesn't want to they don't want to keep you in their company anymore. Why? Because they can't clown you anymore. What does that mean? Now that I know that this person is only around me because of this cool trick I do, I could go do my cool trick elsewhere with people that appreciate me without the cool trick. And then I could give them as a bonus the cool trick. Are you still following me? Self-respect is the revealer of all things when it comes to relationships, because you're setting your boundary with self-love and selecting the people that you want in your environment. So those people that actually get to be in that environment are super appreciative of who you are. They're super respectful of your time. They're not just asking you to do a cool trick. And maybe, they do ask you to do a cool trick, but it's with utter respect. Before it's, look at Mary, look at the trick that Mary could do. Come, Mary, do your trick. And now it's, I love Mary. Mary is my good friend. And she's so funny. She does this trick. I don't know if she has time. If Mary, can I mention this? Asking you even permission to do the trick. Doesn't that make you feel honored? Doesn't that make you feel respected, loved? It doesn't mean you're never going to do the trick again. It just means that there's a different pretense to it. You want to be in a relationship. You want to be around people. You want to be in environments where people recognize that it's a privilege to be with you. Why? That makes you better. That makes them better. And as a unit, with people moving together with respect, honor, and value of each other, everyone is going to be more confident about themselves and more confident about their reality, which just breeds more confidence, which just breeds more love, because this positivity is always abundant. But you have to remember that life is balanced. So as abundant that you could be in the positive realm, there's the negative realm as well. Be careful where you're going when it comes to self-respect. Look at the people around you. Do you want them around you? Look at the people in your environment. Is this the environment that represents you? Does this make you feel like the most you've ever felt every time you go in that environment? Or do you feel demeaned, drained, crushed? Do you feel like a loser? Do you feel like you got the shorter end of the stick whenever you're in that environment? Really sit with yourself and ask yourself that question. And once you've found that out, maybe put self-respect into the equation and see how, just like the Red Sea, it parts in two. It opens up with a way for you to march forward into a life that is true to you. Ask yourself, what are you trying to gain from the situations that you're in? What are you trying to achieve by doing and giving? And sometimes we can't ask ourselves that question. And I understand. Sometimes we're just the empathetic type. Sometimes we're just the just leave me alone type. Like I don't really bother myself with all these things. Why is the world bothering themselves with me? Sometimes we're that type of person. And believe me, if there's anyone that understands, I understand. But then you really need to ask yourself, how long will you be shunned upon? If everybody's playing a game, if everybody is using you to an extent or the other, when are you going to realize that you're actually of value? Because if everybody is trying to use you, it must mean that you're of some type of use. So reverse that. Ask yourself, if everybody's trying to use you, if everybody seems to be doing these things to you and treating you in a specific type of way that you don't like, that must mean that you're an important piece. So now that we've assessed that you're an important piece, start to ask yourself why you're important. What makes you so special, right? What makes you so special? And then we're back to square one. Because now you've assessed that you're a special person. then you can assess or understand to love that person. And with that love, then comes boundaries. And with those boundaries comes selection and where you want to play your piece on the game of life. Thank you so much for listening today, and welcome back to the Uncle Prince Show. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Please comment, I love myself. Even if you've already commented, comment again, I love myself. Sometimes we need to see it, we need to type it out. We need to put that in the universe so that we could recognize it, even if just for a second. Because with that love can eventually come transformation into the person that you are always destined to be. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you here next time on the Uncle Prince Show. Hello, Howell family. I wouldn't say I'm back, but I'm kind of back. Something came over me and there was just a message that I felt that should be said today. If this message resonates with you, please like, comment, subscribe. I'm elated to be speaking to you today. I'm elated to be sharing this message with you today. It's something that really touches me, something that has affected me, and something that I know affects you or has affected you in your lifetime. Thank you so much for listening to this video or watching this video. I appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing day. Until next time.